Pacific coast. Back off the country, back off the state. In God's country, keep Oregon great. Oregon greatness, right at the gate. It's what we do, keep Oregon great. Keep it real, keep it not woke. Save the country with the Pacific coast. Back off the country, back off the state. In God's country, keep Oregon great.
Well, hello. Glad to be with you today. And it's a solemn day, though, because I don't know if any of you followed Charlie Kirk, but he was a tremendous man. He got shot, assassinated by a leftist radical. And how do we know it was a leftist? Well, his family told us so. He was upset with what was going on with the Trump administration, and the media sets us up for that. The media gets people so enraged that they take things out on other people. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way that they work, because that's the way that they make money. They make money by being on the edge and being controversial. And it's not news. It's not news. It's fantasy. And people have found that out and are getting their news from social media now, because there are more trustworthy sources on social media. Of course, you have to be careful who you choose, but there's more truth on social media than you'll find ever on the fake news. And it truly is fake news. I mean, Donald Trump has it down right, and he's getting people to own up to that. Or I should say, he's showing that the skeletons that are in their closets. Charlie Kirk has a family, 2 kids. One's 4 years old, and the other's right around that age. A beautiful wife, and in an instant, they lost their dad. Charlie Kirk had been going around from campus to campus throughout the United States, talking to students, because he really had an affinity for students, and he wanted to change their lives and make their lives better. That was what prompted him to do that. Unfortunately, in Utah, he went and ended up getting shot in Utah, one of the colleges there. I want to mention that the Douglas County Republican Central Committee is going to be having a special vigil, if you will. Basically, the county commissioners and our state representatives will be on hand and giving speeches. And it's about freedom, and it's about just really getting back to where we need to be, and caring about each other. And I'd urge you to come down to the Douglas County Fairgrounds. No, that's not Fairgrounds. The Douglas County Courthouse in Roseburg, and partake of that, because there are going to be a lot of good speakers. It's all free, and I would highly recommend that. What am I going to talk about today? Well, 2 things, and I'm going to get a little sip of water here, but 2 things. I'm going to talk about the transportation tax, which isn't really a tax. It's just going to change your whole way of life if that gets passed. I'll explain how. And insisted upon the state Democrats to continue with DEI programs, even though it's been proven that they don't work, they're a waste of money, they're inefficient, that they keep the good people from being hired. I hope you'll agree. That people should not be hired simply because of their race or simply because of their lifestyle. And if they are, that's discrimination right there. That's racism right there. So the Democrats are quick to call Republicans racist, but they're being racist when they employ DEI programs. It's unfortunate, I know that they see it that way, but they are quiet about it and they don't care. They just don't care. They are focused on what is important to them, and that's power. They're not interested in Oregon. We talk about the transportation tax, and they talk about, hundreds of workers will be displaced if we don't spend billions of dollars, $5 billion over the next 10 years. That's ludicrous. Just think about that. Just listen to that for a moment. A few hundred people are going to be displaced in their jobs if we don't spend $5 billion over the next several years. How nuts is that? I mean, it just doesn't ring true. It just doesn't ring as being something that we should be concerned about. I'm concerned about the $5 billion, but we shouldn't be concerned about a few layoffs That happens every day in the real world. Out in the private sector, thousands of people have been let go from Intel. Intel moved because of the DEI programs and things that the Oregon State has been pushing on them. They just had enough. They said, we're done. And Dutch Bros, same thing. They just said, let's go someplace where it's a lot simpler. Let's go someplace where they care about us as employers, where they don't have crazy laws like this DEI garbage. And I'll tell you that the left talks a lot about green initiatives. They had the Inflation Reduction Act. That was the title given to it, but they lied. They admitted later that it has nothing to do with inflation. It has to do with green energy, and they put trillions of dollars of green programs in the guise of being Inflation Reduction Act, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker because they hoisted a $5,000. I'm sorry, a 5,000-page document, the bill, on the desks of congressmen and senators, and nobody had a chance to read it. Nobody knew it was in the bill, and yet they voted for it, passed it. Absolutely ludicrous. I don't like how our government works in that way. I mean, we have a great system. We have a great, the three powers that we have, and no one power is going to be able to supposedly, take over the whole system. Now, the executive branch tried to do it with Biden administration, tried to exert their authority. Okay, is Donald Trump doing it? To a certain degree, yes. We need to get away from that. There's a reason for the separation of powers. The different branches, the executive, legislative, and judicial. And that was the way our country was set up. That's the way our country, that our forefathers envisioned it, and it's been working for almost 250 years now. We need to get back to basics in this country. We need to get back to what made America great, because we are a great country. And that's why I have the positive name for our podcast and for our company, Keep Oregon Great, because I do believe it's still great. But we need to make sure that things like this transportation bill doesn't happen. Now, why is the transportation bill such a bad thing? A lot of people will look at that and say, I can handle a few dollars here and there, at my registration, pay 10, 20, 30 bucks more on that. And sure, no problem with a little bit of, payroll tax, 0.1% is not much. And then also on top of that, they put a lot of different things, but, it doesn't add up to much. Doesn't add up to much. What I want you to think about, though, is the fact that we're not only being taxed, the people that provide the goods and services to us, they're also being taxed. So absolutely everybody you buy from in the state of Oregon is going to have the same increase in their taxes, and that cost will be passed along to us. So we're not only getting our tax, the impact on our taxes, we're getting the impact on absolutely everything we buy. I had Virgil Osborne, our state representative, on last week, and he said this is a horrible bill, and it's going to have tremendous consequences for our government and for our state. Right now, we're in a deficit. The state was projected to have a surplus. Now here we are with a deficit. I'm going to look into that and on a future show. But next week, this is a 2-part series. I'm going to get some things off my chest this week, and then next week I'm going to dig into the details of it, the nuts and bolts of DEI and how it's ruining Oregon, and how it's just a power grab for the Democrats. Let me take another drink of water, but they talk about green energy, make a big deal about that, but it's a big to do about nothing. because it's been proven, and I'll get some clips on that as well, showing that how green initiatives, there's no reason for it. It's a waste of money right now. And that's what the science shows. That's what the Democrats certainly don't talk about that because that's all they have to have to hang their hat on. They don't have a plan. They don't have any direction for the country. All they have is green initiatives. Oh, and beating Donald Trump, whom they tried to throw in prison, whom they tried to kill. Yeah, I believe that they were involved with the a shooting in Butler. I believe that there's no way that that building that was so close to the stage would have been left uncovered, except if there had been interference by our government, maybe our three-letter agencies, and certainly by the president and the Biden administration. I have no doubt about that. And do you really doubt that? It's a big elephant in the room, but I don't hear many people talking about that. But I'm going to talk about that because I believe that with my whole heart. And this is a free country, and I can say what I want to say. And I'm going to say these things on this show. And I hope you support me, and I hope you enjoy this show and the ones to come, because this is we need to really take this country back. We need to take our state back, because if we don't, the consequences are too dire. Back to DEI, they're spending millions and millions of dollars on DEI. And if they did away with the DEI programs, which have been proven to be ineffective across the country and ineffective in businesses, state of Oregon is, even though it's been proven ineffective and people are taking away in their companies and in their states, taking away these programs, what we're finding right now is that the state of Oregon is doubling and tripling their efforts. Tens of millions of dollars spent on DEI in the state of Oregon. No cutting back. It's all head forward. And that's why we need to replace the Democrats in the state of Oregon. We need a Republican governor. We need Republican legislators. And we need to do this in the midterms. We need to shake up Oregon. We need to take Oregon back. We need to put Republicans in the majority and put Democrats back in the minority. They've been running this state for some time now, and look at the shape it's in. We need our time at bat, and I guarantee that it's going to be a whole different story when the Republicans step up to the plate. I want to mention, I need to say this because I'm on a number of boards and I do some things in the community. So I need to say that the views and opinions are expressed in this podcast are solely my own. They do not reflect the positions, policies, or perspectives of any organization, board, or employer with which I am affiliated. So a little disclaimer, this is all about me and not about them. I think what we'll do is I put together a commercial on this transportation bill, and let's look at that now.
He's got one coin in his pocket, gas pumps burning through the night, groceries stacked like mountains, and nothing's feeling right. Bill 3991's a monster crawling through the state. He's staring at the numbers and choking on the weight. We're the taxed and the furious, we won't sit back and bleed. They're hiking up the prices while we struggle just to feed. Call your senator, raise your voice, let the people choose. We're the taxed and the furious, and we refuse to lose.
This is going to be a mess if if this passes, and this would not have passed. It had Javity, Representative Javity from I think it's Tillamook. No, it's from I think it's Tillamook. Decided to be a Democrat. He pulled a Swalwell on us, and decided to become a Democrat. And as a Republican, though, he voted this yes. He voted yes for the bill because he wanted to be a Democrat and wants to sit in the on the committees and be part of the majority. So he followed right in line with the Democrats. Now, fortunately, well, I mean, it didn't matter, but it could have. One of the Democrats voted with the Republicans. So had Javity voted no, this wouldn't even be going to the Senate right now. Right now, it's going to the Senate on the 17th. What I need you to do is, it will make a difference. This will make a difference. Contact your senator, not your representative, because that's already a water under the bridge. Call your senator, email your senator, call his phones, leave messages on his phones or her phone, and let them know that you want them to vote no on the transportation bill. No on the transportation bill. Because this is going to have an effect on your family. And this is when people are hurting more than ever right now. People are having a difficulty putting their food on the table. And right now in the grocery stores, we're still paying those high prices. Well, hey, we're going to pay even higher prices once if this bill gets passed. We absolutely need to, and we must stop this in any way that we can. That commercial that you just saw, I want to run that on social media in the districts where it will make a difference. And I hope that you donate to our organization. We're a PAC, Political Action Committee, to be able to do things like this in the area and in the state. So I hope you'll donate to us. And I tell you what, when we get done with the show and it's all been sent for replay, I'll put down in the comments section the link to where you can send, or actually you can donate. And it's all through ODOT, which is a company that restaurants use and retail businesses use, and it's all secure. And I don't see your credit card information. I don't see any of your information. It's all done by a processing center, which is used to doing those things. Very secure, and it takes all the information we need to report it to the state. So I hope you'll donate, because we have a real important job to do, a real important task to do, and I want to be able to play that commercial in areas where, where it'll make a difference, where there's a Democrat seated, where hearing no from the constituents, could really have an impact. We could really make some difference with that. Back to DEI. We're seeing that in our schools. We're seeing that in our workplace. We're seeing that in our communities. And I'm tired of the leftist programs, the things that they just think about what that was going on during the Biden administration. Well, this is a leftover from the Biden administration, one of those dinosaurs that should have been retired here in the state of Oregon. But because the state's so damn liberal, it wasn't. And I apologize for swearing. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry you did that. But I'm just very angry about this. My wife gave me a look, and I could see that look on her face. Well, what would the people from church think? And I agree. I shouldn't have said that, and I apologize. I'll repent of that tonight. Anyway, the programs that are shocking, and I'm going to bring a lot of those specifics out next week, next Friday at 6:00. I'm going to be detailing a lot of those DEI programs that the state has deployed throughout the state of Oregon. Well, that's all I wanted to really say tonight, and I will be saying more next week. It'll probably be an hour show, and I will be talking about DEI specifically. But I do want to really stress right now the importance of calling your senators about this transportation bill, because it's a bill that will affect you and affect your families, and quite frankly, will affect the families that can least afford to be hit with something like this. A lot of families living paycheck to paycheck, And this is just going to really upset the apple cart. One thing I want to also talk about just briefly is some breaking news in Washington County. Let me see if I can find that real quick here. Yeah, Oregon Ethics Commission is going to investigate travel by 4 Washington County commissioners. That's up in the Beaverton area. The Oregon Ethics Commission will evaluate whether Washington County commissioners violated state ethics rules while traveling on behalf of the county's sewer agency. Commissioner John Snyder said the board is in January and is not under investigation. Well, the state ethics commission says different. So we'll watch what's going on there. It's a big deal up in Washington County. One thing I want to close with. I'm tired about tired of the lies, and every politician maybe stretches the truth a bit, and a lot of them even lie. But it's just the left lies so easily. They lied about the Inflation Reduction Act. Nancy Pelosi talked about lying and just saying lies in the media about different people, and if the media reports on it, it's true. Whether it's true or not, the perception is that it's true, and it harms people's lives and hurts them, but they don't care. They don't care. I'll play that clip next week if you haven't seen it. And Nancy Pelosi basically saying we lie, and that's part of our strategy. Anytime that things don't go the way of the left, they riot, they burn things down, they damage property, they loot. You compare that to how the Republicans deal with things. We deal with things in a civilized manner. I think things are changing right now, but perhaps not in the state of Oregon. Oregon's given so much pushback to the ICE agents and immigration folks chasing illegal aliens that it's become real problematic in being able to adequately police this state. And speaking of illegal aliens, every single politician that says, oh, we shouldn't call them illegal aliens and all of this, you just look back 5 years ago, roll the clock back 5 years ago, and you can find these clips on the internet. They're all saying the same thing. They're saying, we can't have these illegal aliens here in our country. We need to send them back, basically, and have them come in the right way. And nobody really has a problem with immigration, but people need to do it the right way. Anyway, just some food for thought, and I appreciate all that you do. And I'd like to play that commercial one more time, if we could. Is it still up? Apparently it's not up anymore. We sent it away, I think, but we'll play that again. But the time is nigh. In I guess 5 days, the Senate's going to vote on that, and after the 17th, it's going to be too late because it'll go to Tina Kotek's desk, and she put this all together, and she'll go ahead and sign that. And when the House voted on this bill, her bill, she didn't even bother to be in town. She was on vacation and didn't even bother to be around during the legislative session. I just can't believe it. One thing after another with our legislature, our majority, those people in the majority. There are many good legislators on the Republican side that can save our state. We just need to get more of them. Anyway, thank you so much, and I appreciate it, and I will see you next week. Have a great week.
Oregon greatness, right at the gate. It's what we do, keep Oregon great. Keep it real, keep it not woke. Save the country with the Pacific coast. Back off the country, back off the state. In God's country, keep Oregon great. Oregon greatness, right at the gate. It's what we do, keep Oregon great. Keep it real, keep it not woke. Save the country with the Pacific coast. Back off the country, back off the state. In God's country, keep Oregon great.